Welcome to our YouTube channel Technology Tutorials. In this video we are going to learn about Docker volumes, how we can create Docker volume, how we can manage it, and how we can mount a Docker volume to a container. For more information on this topic, please visit our blog Technology Tutorials. Let's start with some basics. By default, Docker container storages are not persistent. That means if any data is stored in a Docker container storage and the container is terminated, then the data is lost. For data persistence, there are many storage methods available. Docker volumes are the best methods because it is managed by Docker itself and it is created on a physical file system of the host which is managed by Docker, and the location is varlib Docker volumes. Docker volumes can be managed by Docker command line interface or the Docker API. So here we can see from the physical file system how the directories get created when we fire a Docker volume create command. There are two volumes, service volume and volume 2 created, and inside each of this volume underscore data is created. Another big advantage of Docker volumes is that it does not add to the weight of the container. That is that it does not increase the size of the container. And multiple containers can use the same volume, and it supports multiple storage drivers like cloud storage, NFS and local storage. For example, in AWS we can use S3 as well as EBS as storage drivers. Next we will learn few basic Docker volume commands. The first volume is Docker volume ls, which will list all the Docker volumes. Next is Docker volume create with a volume name, and it will create a volume with the same volume name inside varlib Docker volumes. Docker volume rm with a volume name or volume id will remove the volume, but the volume should not be attached to any container. Next we will see how to mount the created volume to a container. Docker volumes can only be mounted to a container when it is first created. So you can use the docker run command with a -v option that will contain the volume name and then colon and the container mount part. This will create the container and mount the volume to the specified directory inside the container. For example, docker run itd -v volume 2 :/data, and then docker name nginx vol and then the image nginx. Will create a nginx container named nginx vol and mount the docker volume named volume 2 /data inside the container. The command can also be written using mount option. The mount option accepts key value pairs and it is more verbose than the -v option. For example, as you can see from the above command, we have specified the source as volume 2, destination as /data and nginx. So it shows that the source volume name is volume 2 and the destination inside the container is /data, where the Docker volume will be mounted inside the container. Docker volumes can also be mounted as read-only. To do that, we use the same docker command as we used in the previous example and specify the read-only argument to tell Docker that the volume is to be mounted as read-only inside the container. Once this is done successfully, no container process will be able to write in this directory and it will be mounted as read-only. Our theoretical discussion ends here. Now we will continue with our live demo to show you how this works actually. Now first let's see if any Docker volumes are created using Docker volume ls command. We can see one Docker volume is created. Now if we use the tree command, we will be able to see how the directory structure of this volume looks like. Now we create another volume, volume 2. and let's see how the directory structure looks like after this. As you can see, there are two volumes, volume 1 and volume 2 created. Now let us see how Docker volume can be removed using docker volume rm command. We are going to remove volume 1 in this demo. So if we run the docker volume ls command now, we will see only docker volume 2 is there, and the directory is also removed from var lib docker volumes. Now we only have volume 2 created. As you can see, there are no docker containers created. So first we will create an nginx container, nginx vol 1, and see what all directories, what all mount points are created inside the container. Then we will use the same image to create nginx vol 2 and mount on our container to nginx vol 2, and then we can see if our volumes are correctly mounted or not. Here we can see the default mount points that are getting created with the container. Now we will run another container nginx vol 2 and mount our volume 2 to this container. Here we can see that there are two containers up and running. Now we get into the container shell and try to find out if our volume is correctly mounted or not. Here we can see our shared directory is mounted. Let's create a test file inside this shared directory. Now we go to the physical host and check if the same file is created inside var lib docker volume / volume 2 / data. As you can see, the test file is created on the physical file system. Now we can also create a file on the physical file system and see if the same is accessible from the container. Here we can see that both the files are created. Now let's remove one file and see if the same gets removed from the physical file system of the host. As you can see, the test file is removed. For the next example, we have removed all the containers and also created one new volume, service volume. Instead of -v, we can also use the mount option and specify key value pair to mount a volume, and this option is more verbose and you can specify more options here. So in this case we will try to mount a volume as read only. So we specify source, destination and the type of mount, that is read only. Here we have created a container nginx vol, and now we try to get into the container shell and try to write a file on the mounted volume. As you can see, the data directory is mounted. Now we'll try to create a file inside data directory. As you can see, it clearly specifies that it cannot create a file because it is a read-only file system. Please note that if read-only option or no option is provided, then by default the file system is mounted as read-write. Ends the demo. Thanks for watching.